Hello everyone. Hello. Wanted to make a video about making gold again. This is you can make about 80 gold a week. It's on a weekly reset. So how to make gold using the weekly resets. You may not be aware of it. I wanted to make a video about that, plus explain maybe a little bit of how to be more efficient with it. So there is this legendary spear in the game. Um, this one, Club Adjourn gear, and it needs something from the homestead. I am in my homestead at the moment, and if you talk to this NPC and we look at the last bag here, the shards of the homestead. Um, if you check out the cost, it is if you want to buy a stack of these, which is what you need for making the weapon, it's roughly oscillates between like 80 and 90 gold if you wanted to buy it at that buy price. You can craft a stack per week, or maybe very close to a stack per week. And if we talk back to the NPC, you'll notice that it requires five of the refined homestead metal, five refined homestead wood, and five refined homestead fiber. Now, how you get those is over here is the fiber. So, homestead refinement farm. If you have all your upgrades here, this requires mastery, homestead mastery, plus buying all of the upgrades. If you have all the upgrades, you'll have I already bought one, but you have the ability to buy 800. And for the fiber, you'll notice that at 1 carat, for example, will give you 1 refined fiber, but some items give you 2. There is actually 10 items which will give you 2 of them, and that's what this video is mostly about. Is about these 10 items. Now, for efficiency purposes, you'll notice black peppercorn here will give you 2. You can get 100 per week. So 100 per item per week. So 100 of this, plus another 100 using the vanilla beans, plus another 100 using the head of lettuce. Once you get 100, that item disappears, and you'll notice that this will drop by 100. Okay, so we're down to 700 now. I want to show you throughout the week there is a place where you can get lettuce, and daily you can do a daily it's a patch, a lettuce patch. So because you can get 800, that means that out of the 10 possibilities there are 8 that you want to use. 8 times 100 is 800. So what I've done is I've used my homestead here for the leaves, the sage leaves, the peppercorn, and onions. There's more sage leaves here. Vanilla beans and crocus. And because I bought 200 that you watched me buy, I've used up the lettuce. vanilla bean. So you can plant vanilla beans. You can plant onions. You can plant the sage leaves as you saw me do that. Okay, I'm only focused on the stuff that's two, and every week is the same two, by the way. I'll show you a patch where you can get the raspberries. So you could plant raspberries in your homestead, but you don't want to do that. You want to use the patch instead, which you can harvest multiple times a day per character. The saffron threads, those you can plant. You saw me plant that in my patch. Ryan truffles is the other one, and seaweed. So I'm skipping Orion truffles and seaweed. Remember, that gives you a total of 10 different options. I'm skipping those two, so I'm focused on the other ones. This black crocus. So I'm going to send everything home here. Okay. So when I do this, and these. So what I did is I put two of everything. Okay. And each plant gives you 2, so that you get a total of 4. Now I did double up on the sage leaves, so that's why you're seeing me get 8 of the sage leaves, but everything else you notice I'm getting 4 of. Okay, so there we are. 4 saffron, 4 of the peppercorn, 4 of the vanilla, 4 of the onions, and 4 sage, actually 8 sage leaves. This one doesn't count. So out of the 8 items that we're going to need here, like for example, I've got the peppercorn there. Okay, the peppercorn. 5 of the plants you can put on your garden. And that means, since you need a total of 8, that means that you need to get the other 3 items from the outside world. Okay, and lettuce is a perfect item because there is a patch of lettuce, and raspberries, there is a patch of raspberries as well. So I'm going to exit here. The batch of raspberries is in the Skywatch archipelago, and my character is right here next to it. Where that is located is at the Drogner's light waypoint. Okay, south of that, in this green island. All right, so just do that. All right. So you saw how I got 8 plants there. Or 4 plants, sorry. And this number, sometimes you get 5, sometimes you get more. Okay. So now I've got 4 plus 2, 6 of the 8 required items. The other item again is the lettuce, and I'll show you where the lettuce is at. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys know where the lettuce is at. And there is one other item that you can get easily from the outside world using a patch. Normally, it should be down here somewhere. It's not that one. Where are you? Where are you? Looking at all this stuff. That's 2. This one. the pile of flax seeds. Now, normally you want to use those for something else that is very pricey, the oiled stuff. But if you compare flax seeds now, the cost of them is the same as, for example, raspberries or lettuce, or let's look at, for example, seaweed. Okay, let's look at if you wanted to buy seaweed. If you want to buy 100 of them, is what you would need. You're looking at 2 gold, 74, almost 3 gold. And if you look at flax seeds, if you wanted to buy 100 of these, it's close to the same thing, right? But it would be very difficult to to farm 100 seaweeds, but it's very easy to farm 100 flax seeds. So let me show you where the lettuce is at. So I have different characters parked here, and I'll show you another thing I did, which I think makes this more efficient. So here's the lettuce patch. It's in Queensdale, and it's south of the Beetleton waypoint. And what I did is in my shared inventory slot, I put this glyph of reaping. And so I'll click on the harvesting tool, click on the glyph of reaping, puts it on there. And now with one click, I get most of the lettuce. And 2 clicks that did everything. You usually get somewhere between 10 and 13 of these. So that's where the lettuce is at. Now, if you park 3 characters here, and on one day that you log in, you would get somewhere between 30 and 40 of these things. So 2 or 3 days, you can get your 100. Okay, 100 lettuce. So I send those to my storage, and I remove the glyph and I place it back there. And now let me show you where the flax seed is at. Very common areas, both of these, the flax seed and the lettuce, but I'm in the verdant brink. There are actually 2 patches in the game. And then in the Jaka Itzel area, the Jaka Itzel waypoint, you just climb down all the way down here. I'm way at the bottom. The floor is way above up there. Very common place. A lot of people know it. They park their characters here. So again, same thing. Click on the harvesting tool. Click on the reaping glyph, and with one keystroke, I harvest all of them and get 10. So again, park 3 characters in here. That means you can get 30 per day. So in 3 days you get 90. So you pretty much got your 100. All right. So now let me go back to my warrior. And if we look at the flax seeds, right, and lettuce. All right. So there would be the 8 items. All right. These 5 by using your garden plots. Plant 2 of everything, 2 of each and you can get these 5 items, and then the other 3 items you get from parking characters in those patches that I showed you. Raspberries, flax seeds, and heads of lettuce. Now, if you do this daily, right, and then Mondays when reset happens, the weekly reset happens, and that is when you can get your all your items here. So that's gonna drop to $5.99. Let's see. Let's do the raspberries. Notice I'm gonna get 200 of those by buying all 100. All right. And then do this other 100 here. So I just started this week, so I don't have everything. But like, if you do this every day, you get four nodes basically, right? You get 4 every day, four of those every day. This one I doubled up on, so you get 8. But 4 times every day times 7 days is 28. If you log in every day and you harvest your garden plants, there's 8 days in the week, right? Or 7. Yeah, 7 times 4, 28. So you get 28 of everything, and then you can just buy the rest, so that'll offset your cost. All right, so let's see. So by doing that now, I have all these. Here is the lumber stuff. If you notice, ancient wood will give you ×2. Again, that's if you have all of your upgrades here, okay? And again, you can get 800. So here you can do 250. So 250 of those. It would be 250 of these, which would give you 500. And 800, so that you would get 300 from doing like a stack of these and some of that. I'm not doing. I mostly wanted to do this video about the plants. Here's the fine metal. So again, you do 250 here. Get the metal. And I do have a character parked at a ridge node. That way I can just get at least 10 of these things. But yeah, there's also ridge nodes for platinum ore, and you don't have to spend gold on this if you don't want to. On the wood, you kind of do have to spend gold, I find. All right. Once you have all your mats, which I didn't do all of them yet, because I didn't have all the materials I should have. You can just come in here and let's see what is the most I can buy. Okay, so I could buy 80, but I didn't get everything. That's why. I do have enough of the metal and the fiber. It's just the wood that I would need. Which, let me just do that way. That way we can see what we can get per week. So I have 50 of these, so I need 200 ancient wood. Yeah, I put 200. Alright, so that's 5 gold there, almost 6. And we have 46 of these, so 204 hardwood. And 28 of those, so 222 of the soft, is it? Seasoned. I'm going to go to the Black Lion Trading Post to pick up the items I just bought. Going back to my Homestead here. And of course, you could, you have a week, right, where you can do some planning and focus on finding those woods if you don't want to do it. There are routes, for example, for the metal. You can find routes of rich node on YouTube. So let's do the 250 here and 250 of these. You notice I'm at 300. I can still buy, and then I can buy 50 more, and then you cannot buy any more. Okay, that's the limit. So therefore you have to wait until next week, which that's what this is about. This is the weekly reset. But the weekly reset allows you to make this money. Let's see. All right, so you can buy 240. So you're just 10 short of a stack.
Goodbye.
Okay. So every week you can get 240. Put it at the sell price here, and 87 gold for the 240, and the fee minus 12. It looks like 4 for listing it and 8 for taxes, I guess, exchanging. Anyway, you'll get close to 80 gold every week by doing that. The reason people pay for that is because they want to craft the legendary spear. So that's what the video is about. You can see you can get about 280 gold a week from doing that process. Doesn't really require that much effort, I don't think. That's it. Happy gold hunting for you guys.